Um, this is Peggy. Well, I have to use this name, Peggy Ann Childers, Dempsey Childers. My real name's Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in '41, brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. The twins were murdered. They were born out of wedlock, and they were murdered by, excuse me if I'm showing my toilet and everything. I was showing the suitcase and backpack for a reason. I've told about this on YouTube and Facebook, and I don't know if this is going to go up, if I've got enough room to make this video. So I'll just get to this. This was where I was brought, and this is me 2 years after then, in about 1943. And this picture's glossed over. This is a woman that made my life hell. And I had to call mother when I had a beautiful mother and father and was taken from them. I'm from the UK, and I've put all this up on so many YouTube and Facebook. Now, I want to go back to this. I wrote about mind control murders, and I've put all this up there, too. And Larry Flint helped me in a political campaign in '83, October. I was flown out to his home twice. He was killed, wow. Yeah, he was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing the book in Marietta, nearby, on mind control. And his attorney was killed, Mr. Flint's was. So one of the doctors, Larry McDonald, that I wrote about in the book, supposedly went down in a KAL plane that crashed. It veered into Russian airspace, which is what you can do with mind control, too. So putting 2 or 3 more people in the cockpit won't change it. You have to address the matter that's causing it, and that's mind control. But anyway, Larry McDonald went down, so they say, in that plane from Juneau to Seoul, August 31st of '83. So what I want to get to now is I'm going to mention another one of them here. I was given the name of the twins. I don't know where my sons Mark and Scott are. This is an old picture. They're heirs after me, so you can look back. I'm not allowed to say that, or that's quote, even though everybody knows it. The media cover-up, the NAACP cover-up, and I'm not going to go into all that again. They need to be addressed at why they've covered it all up. This is one of the mind control shootings, and this was Tucson, Arizona. Gabby Gifford, congresswoman then, married to twin Mark Kelly and his twin brother Scott Kelly, and they're both astronauts. So I'm not going to go into that again, but what I wanted to say here was I put on video and posted on Facebook Friday night, which would have been the 10th. I started, and then again yesterday morning, the 11th. So this was before the shooting at, they first, CNN said at 4 o'clock yesterday it was at the White House, but then there was nothing else until this morning, I believe. Just a slight release yesterday, but let me get to it. I was putting in the videos prior to this, or about the same time some of them went up that this happened. I was putting about mind control and suicides that they say it's suicide when it's death by mind control. It's a murder. And I mentioned Robin Williams, and it has to do also with the roles he played in Mark from Ork and The Crazy Ones. But that was one of them. I mean, that was not suicide. It was mind control. But there's lists of all this, like the murders next door at Virginia Tech, April the 16th of '07, the 33 there. And by the way, this is done to other countries, so it's not just limited to here. But what I wanted to say here was yesterday I mean, it's the timeline, the date, the background. You have to have some background in names, etc., timing, synchronicity, that has been deliberately done in patterns by the agency doing this. And because mind control is invisible, let me put this in. Scott Peterson was one of them. Everybody hates Scott Peterson. He's on death row. He's a victim of mind control, just like the policeman Slager, I believe. I hope I haven't mispronounced his name again. Who he's going to die too if the truth isn't told. In the shooting of the black gentleman, Mr. Scott, up in North Charleston, South Carolina. And these that I speak of were deliberately, I'll say that again, done in patterns, and they can be proven. It's been a cover-up by the media, and again, I'm going to say the NAACP, because they certainly knew about this, and that can be proven. But what I want to say here was the release this morning about this suicide in front of the Capitol. U.S. Capitol locked down yesterday. A man shot himself, suicide, in front of the Capitol. At first it said something about a Secret Service woman and the White House and etc. But they had this man that is murdered by suicide. That was mind control. I don't know his name yet. They haven't released it. But he had on a backpack and rolling a suitcase. And his sign said, according to one of them that was interviewed, social justice. Well, anyway, I've shown you the suitcases. That's one of them that I still have, and the backpack I still have. 86, I came to Roanoke, and I'd had antifreeze put in me after I did the medical malpractice book, April Fool Day of 80, and should have died. And that's just ongoing. I had Gonzalez is the name that I also put up yesterday, was a doctor there. He was at Parkland in Dallas when interning when JFK was taken in there shot. JFK helped in my kidnapping. His father, Joe Kennedy, was ambassador to England. My own Uncle George, the illegal George VI, helped in my kidnapping. Illegal takedown of my father, Edward VIII, who was married to my mother, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, from America. Georgia O'Keefe, the artist's sister. So the whole thing about Wallace Simpson, she married a double, was a lie, and a 99-year seal put on it. So it's who I am and my sons, and my life has been a living hell with the media, me crawling and begging and on food stamps and you name it when I could get them, and soaked with chemicals. That's how they run me. So you couldn't make all this up. The timeline and everything would show it. So I've been telling you what the news media should have been telling you. The laws broken against me and against the British and against the Germans are unreal. And this is what the FBI agent said to me in Atlanta. He said, he pretended to yawn, and he said, it's only when they see, you bore them, is what he said, with what you're saying. It's only when they find out how it affects them that they care. So anyway, I want to put this in. A few years ago, I had to run because the chemicals were so bad where I was trying to live, that I went up on the Appalachian Trail to Cornelia Shelter. That was in early October, late September, and behind Cornelia Shelter. And I stayed there, and when I came back down, well, let me put it this way. When I was trying to go into the shelter so I could camp and have a place to put the tent up, I couldn't get there. I'm carrying garbage bags, the same suitcase I just showed you, and I can hardly walk from the inflammation. I'm allergic to chemicals, and when I'm force-fed toxic, and it's been deliberate, that's what happens. The inflammation attacks every part of your body, your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, your eyes, etc. So the damage done is pathetic, and it's been done in front of everybody with people. It's assault with a deadly weapon. It's part of a conspiracy, for God's sake. So anyway, America doesn't hear about